My name's Philip Biber. I'm a partner at Sionic. I joined just recently, and my role at Sionic is actually to develop the private banking practice, and we've established an office in Geneva. Switzerland has to reinvent its private banking. That's the biggest challenge. Now, the thing is to take literally private banking institutions that have been around hundreds of years, right, and to take that and to bring them really into a whole new delivery mechanism, if you will, is quite a challenge, you know. And as I mentioned previously, it's all about change. And Sionic, I think, is ideally placed because we're not one of the big four. We're not an established old consultancy firm. We're young. We do have a lot of experience with our people, but the mindset is much more getting with the program, getting with what's new, and trying things. We don't sell things, right? What we do is we come to the same side of the table as the client, and we look at the problems together. Right? And that's really the key, if you will, of changing an organization. It's not by saying you should do this, you should buy this. You have to get on the same side of the table and look at the problems together and say, how are we going to deal with this? Not you should buy this and it'll fix your problem. So really it's a journey that you're making with the client, not a pitch. Our legacy at Sionic is actually very full of entrepreneurial people. Frankly, you have all the help you want when you need it, right? But you are actually very free to sit on the same side of the client and look at the problems together and find, right, the appropriate solution. That appropriate solution, 99% of the time, will be with Sionic, but we're honest enough to tell the client for that 1% of the time, you should go to somewhere else, right? Now, big consultancy firms will never do that, right? And let's be honest, no one can be the best at everything. A lot of our clients are larger organizations. We are able to bring that pragmatism with our experience for the client. Really, what inspires me is I work with fantastic people, locally and globally, and the wealth of information that people are happy to share and I'm happy to contribute to makes for a fantastic place to work. There are so many people here with such great experiences, and people are very willing to share, right? I've never been bored a day in my life, because if you're bored, it's your fault, right? What I've seen with the young associates that we have here, with the people we've just hired in Geneva, these are people that are permanently curious, permanently asking questions, and these are people that are passionate about the job and passionate about learning. And you can learn anything you want in this organization. All you have to do is ask. The great thing about Sionic is, on one hand, it's a brand new organization, and on the other hand, it isn't, right? So its current configuration is new, but it's just like anything. It's made up of lots of experience in older parts. Some of the older parts, we have a learning and development practice that's 25 years old. The practice which I'm in, private wealth and private banking, is 10 years old. And all of those things have come together in a new organization, Sionic, and I have the pleasure and the privilege of establishing that in Geneva. This is a fantastic opportunity for me to compete against older organizations that have a legacy, and they have a hard time shaking off years of certain behaviors, sales pitches, and frankly, overheads that they have to continue to fund, and they can only fund by selling you everything, right? We, on the other hand, are an organization that fill needs, right, that we are perfectly suited to fill. We've said digital banking it means one thing to one person or one to another. You know, I believe the Inuit have 27 words for the word snow, right? Because it's important and there are a lot of variations. And that's basically what we have now for digital banking. It's very difficult to have one definition out there, but I think the fundamental, the foundation piece to make digital work in whatever definition you have is that your processes have to be solid, and automation and STP has to be delivered before you put anything out there in front of your client.